In an age of politics, corporations, and digital empires, the game of power remains unchanged. Centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli penned The Prince, a guide that shocked the world with its brutal honesty. Today, his wisdom whispers through boardrooms, governments, and even social networks. But what if Machiavelli himself walked among us now? What rules would he give for this modern jungle of power? The problem is simple. Most people play the game of life with blindfolds on. They believe fairness rules, that honesty triumphs, that morality guarantees victory. But the truth is colder. Those who master deception, perception, and strategy rise above the rest. Today, I reveal how Machiavelli would outsmart everyone, arming you with 21 rules of power that will decide whether you rule or are ruled. Imagine a world where people believe power is granted to them by some invisible hand, by luck, by birth, by kindness of others. That illusion is comforting, but it is also the very reason why so many remain weak. Power, my friends, is never given. It is seized, grasped, and taken by those who dare. Machiavelli understood this in Florence centuries ago, and the truth has not changed today. The rulers of nations, the titans of business, the influencers of culture, they did not politely ask for power. They positioned themselves to claim it when others hesitated. Think of the workplace. A man believes that if he works hard, his boss will reward him with a promotion. He imagines that recognition will arrive like a gift. But in the real game, that promotion does not go to the hardest worker. It goes to the one who maneuvers, who aligns with the right allies, who whispers in the right ears, and who seizes the moment when the chair becomes vacant. The worker who waits will always remain waiting, because power does not descend like charity. It is captured by the bold. Machiavelli would say this: do not ask, do not hope, do not wait. If there is a crown to wear, you must take it from the head of another. If there is a throne to sit upon, you must clear it with your own hands. Look at history. Alexander the Great did not wait for the world to hand him dominion. He carved it with the sword. Napoleon did not inherit an empire. He built it from chaos. In our modern times, great corporations are not built by those who waited for permission. They are built by visionaries who forced their will upon markets, who disrupted old systems, who created something so irresistible that no one could stop them. And here is the cruel truth: those who rely on others to hand them power will be betrayed. Why? Because when power is gifted, it can also be taken back. A ruler who believes his people gave him the crown will soon find that the people may strip it away. A CEO who thinks the board granted him authority may one day watch the board vote him out. But he who takes power secures it through his own hands. He owes no gratitude, no favors, no illusions. He rules because he chose to, not because someone allowed him to. In modern society, the myth of fairness blinds most people. They believe that if they follow the rules, the world will reward them. But Machiavelli knew that rules exist to be bent, and those who bend them without hesitation rise faster than those who cling to virtue. To take power, you must first accept that the world is not fair, nor should you desire it to be. The lion does not ask the gazelle to surrender. He takes it. And so must you. Ask yourself, are you waiting for recognition, or are you ready to seize it? Do you wait for opportunity, or do you create it? When doors are closed, do you knock politely, or do you break them down? This is the essence of Machiavelli's first rule: power is not given, it is taken. The digital world is the perfect example. Influence today does not go to the most virtuous, the most honest, or even the most talented. It goes to those who know how to take attention, who dominate the stage of perception, who command the eyes and minds of millions. Social media is not a fair battlefield. It is a theater of power. The loudest voices, the most cunning manipulators of image, the most ruthless in pursuing attention. These are the ones who rise. Not because someone gave them a platform, but because they claimed it. And when you take power, you must defend it as if it were your lifeblood. Because every moment, someone else is watching, waiting, calculating how to take it from you. That is why the strong remain vigilant, and the weak are forgotten. The weak complain about the cruelty of the world, but their cries are the music of the powerful, who understand that power is the prize of the fearless. So remember this truth, as Machiavelli would whisper to you from across centuries. If you want power, you cannot wait for the world to give it. You must reach out and take it, for only those bold enough to seize control will ever taste its sweetness. A rigid man is a broken man. A leader who cannot bend is a leader who will soon fall. Machiavelli knew that fortune favors those who adapt, those who bend with the winds of change, and those who wear a different mask for every occasion. In his eyes, life is not a straight road, but a battlefield of shifting terrain. The victor is not the strongest, nor the most virtuous, but the one who adjusts his steps faster than the enemy. Adaptation is supreme. Consider the modern age. Technology rises and falls with the speed of lightning. Yesterday's king of commerce becomes today's forgotten relic. Social trends rise like flames and burn out just as quickly. The world is not fixed, it is a storm. Those who insist on sailing straight into the storm are drowned. Those who shift their sails, who alter course without hesitation, survive and claim the riches of calmer seas. Look at once mighty companies that refused to adapt. Blockbuster laughed at streaming, and it crumbled into dust. Kodak clung to film while the world embraced digital, and its empire collapsed. These were not weak empires. They were giants. But giants fall when they cannot evolve. Machiavelli would call them blind princes, rulers who trusted yesterday's victories to protect them tomorrow. Yet tomorrow does not care for yesterday. Tomorrow devours the unprepared. So how does one adapt? First, by seeing what others do not, by keeping eyes open to the smallest shifts in power, in culture, in the desires of the crowd. A prince of Florence watched alliances change overnight. Today, a strategist watches algorithms, markets, and public opinion turn on a single headline. Adaptation begins with awareness. He who sleeps through the storm wakes to find his castle burned. But awareness is not enough. Adaptation requires courage, to discard the old when it no longer serves you, even if you once loved it. To shed your skin as a serpent does. Machiavelli would remind us that loyalty to an old tactic is foolishness when a new weapon lies at your feet. What matters is not tradition, but survival, not habit, but advantage. How many cling to routines, believing stability will save them? How many believe that once they find a formula, it will last forever? These are the men and women who fade into irrelevance. They are relics before their death. They are statues standing in a world that moves. Power belongs not to the statue, but to the wind that carves it. And the art of adaptation is also the art of disguise. A leader must appear steadfast, even while shifting beneath the surface. Machiavelli taught that appearances are everything. To the world, show confidence, certainty, conviction. But within, be fluid, ready to change at a moment's notice. The people must see a steady hand on the wheel, even if you secretly change direction with every gust of wind. Think of the politician who bends to the crowd's mood. He speaks of tradition when tradition is demanded, yet tomorrow he becomes the voice of progress when progress is the new cry. Is he a hypocrite? Perhaps, but he survives, and survival is victory. The rigid man who refuses to shift will call him weak. Yet when the election is over, it is the adaptable one who sits in the palace, while the rigid one returns home forgotten. Adaptation is not betrayal. It is survival. It is recognizing that loyalty to a failing path is the truest betrayal. To yourself, to your power, to your destiny. The lion that refuses to hunt new prey starves. The tree that will not bend in the storm breaks. The ruler who will not change loses everything. Do you change when the world demands it? Or do you cling to what is safe? Do you wear the same mask no matter who stands before you? Or do you craft a new mask for every encounter? Ask yourself honestly, do you adapt or do you decay? Because in Machiavelli's world, and in ours, adaptation is not a choice. It is the law of survival, the law of conquest, the law that separates rulers from the ruled. In the game of power, truth is a shadow, but appearances are light. Men judge not by what is hidden within, but by what is displayed before their eyes. Machiavelli understood this with chilling clarity. It is not necessary for a ruler to truly possess virtue. only to seem as though he does, for the masses cannot pierce the mask, and even if they could, most would rather be deceived by beauty than confronted with ugliness. Thus, the appearance of virtue is more valuable than virtue itself. Think of how people see leaders today. They admire generosity, compassion, courage, honesty, but do they ever test whether these qualities are real? Rarely. They believe what they are shown. A politician who donates publicly is called generous, even if in private he hoards his wealth. A business magnate who smiles at charity galas is praised for kindness. Even as he exploits his workers behind closed doors, the public is blind not because it cannot see, but because it does not wish to. They hunger for the illusion of virtue, and the wise ruler feeds them this illusion. Ask yourself, would you rather be genuinely good, yet powerless, or appear good and hold the crown? The man who insists on pure honesty, pure loyalty, pure morality. He may sleep with a clear conscience, but he will sleep in obscurity. The one who understands appearances, who cloaks himself in the garb of virtue, while wielding cunning in his heart, he becomes untouchable, for perception is reality, and reality bends to perception. Let us return to history. Rome admired Caesar not for his private indulgences, but for the image of magnanimity he projected. The church praised kings who draped themselves in piety, even when those same kings bathed their hands in blood. Florence itself, Machiavelli's own city, was ruled by men who spoke of liberty while chaining the people in golden bonds. Their success came not from genuine purity, but from the theater of purity. And today, nothing has changed. The camera lens is the new throne. The smile on the stage is worth more than the heart behind it. Social media rewards those who appear virtuous, not those who are. A man can live a life of greed, but if he posts a single act of kindness, he is celebrated. A woman can despise the poor, but if she gives once before a crowd, she is praised as a saint. This is not hypocrisy, it is strategy. Hypocrisy is a flaw only for those who are caught. For those who master the art, it is the highest form of power. Machiavelli would whisper, "It is better to act cruel when necessary, but never to look cruel. Better to break promises if it brings advantage, but always to appear steadfast. Better to lie if the lie strengthens your throne, but always to appear honest." The people forgive much, so long as you never let them see the truth. The stage must always glow brighter than the backstage. Do you understand what this means for you? It means that in every interaction, you are performing. At work, with friends, before rivals, you are judged not by what you feel, but by what you project. If you project confidence, you are seen as strong, even if you doubt yourself in secret. If you project kindness, you are seen as good, even if your heart is cold. The audience does not ask for reality, they demand illusion. But here lies the true brilliance of this rule. You need not possess every virtue. You cannot be merciful, honest, faithful, generous, brave, and just at all times. Such perfection is impossible. Yet, if you wear the mask of these virtues, when it suits you, you gain the admiration of all without the burden of being perfect. The people will never know which moments were real and which were performance. They will believe the mask, because the mask is all they see. And so, the appearance of virtue becomes a weapon. It shields you from attack. It wins you allies. It softens your enemies before you strike. No one resists a man who seems noble. No one fears a ruler who appears just, until it is too late. And when you must be ruthless, when you must betray, when you must seize what is not yours, the mask protects you. For the world will say, "He is a good man, surely he would not." And by the time they realize the truth, your power is already secured. Understand this, and you will see the world as it truly is. The strong do not waste energy on perfect virtue. They waste no tears on appearing flawless inside. They know that the inside is hidden, and the mask is what rules. And as long as the mask shines, the crowd will bow. Power is a delicate instrument, and like any instrument, it must be played with skill. Machiavelli understood that strength alone is insufficient, virtue alone is naive, and loyalty alone is fleeting. To rule, one must wield fear, respect, and cunning, not as vices, but as tools each sharpened for a specific purpose. These are the hammers and chisels with which empires are built and rivalries destroyed. Consider fear first. Many recoil at the thought of instilling fear, equating it with cruelty. Machiavelli would argue that fear is neither evil nor good. It is practical. Fear ensures obedience when admiration falters. It is a leash on the reckless, a warning to the ambitious, and a silent whisper in the ears of those who plot in shadows. Yet, fear must be tempered with wisdom. Too much, and it breeds hatred and rebellion; too little, and it invites disrespect. The balance is subtle, but mastery of it separates the ruler from the fool. Respect is the second tool, equally vital. A man may rule through fear, but a ruler who inspires respect commands something greater: loyalty that persists even when fear fades. Respect is earned through consistent action, through competence, through calculated generosity, and through the display of a mind sharp enough to outmaneuver any adversary. People may fear a tyrant, but they follow a man they respect, and the wise leader knows that these two forces, fear and respect, must coexist in a precise equilibrium. Then comes cunning, the secret weapon of all successful rulers. Brute strength is visible, virtue is observable, fear is immediate, but cunning is invisible, and therein lies its power. The cunning mind strikes when unseen, manipulates when unnoticed, and redirects events so that rivals fall into traps of their own making. Cunning is strategy, deception, and foresight combined. It is the art of turning weakness into advantage, chaos into opportunity, and opposition into unwitting allies. The world is ruled not by the honest or the strong, but by the cunning who calculate several moves ahead. Think of how easily we are fooled today. CEOs betray partners with a handshake. Politicians smile while undermining alliances. Influencers present an image of friendship while competing ruthlessly behind screens. All of this is cunning. The world rewards it, not honesty. Machiavelli would not scold. It is the way of survival. To rule, one must master this invisible art. Cunning without fear is impotent. Cunning without respect is ignored. And fear without cunning is chaotic. Together, they create a symphony of power. In modern life, the applications are endless. Fear can be subtle, the quiet, but firm enforcement of rules, the aura of unpredictability in negotiations, the suggestion that actions have consequences. Respect grows from consistent intelligence, vision, and the capacity to achieve what others cannot. And cunning, it hides in every strategic alliance, every calculated word, every social maneuver that gives you leverage over those who underestimate you. The world today is no less Machiavellian than Florence in the Renaissance. Only the tools have changed, the rules remain. Yet mastery is not simple. Many try to wield fear and fail, becoming despised. Many seek respect but cannot command it, becoming irrelevant. Many attempt cunning, only to be exposed, becoming laughed at. Machiavelli would tell you that the tools themselves are neutral. It is the skill of the hand, the clarity of the mind, and the patience of the operator that transforms them into instruments of dominance. To know when to scare, when to honor, when to deceive, that is the true art of power. Do you recognize the subtlety in this? Fear cannot dominate alone, or it breeds rebellion. Respect cannot protect you alone, or it is wasted on admiration that does not act. Cunning alone is invisible, meaningless without leverage. The ruler who masters all three is untouchable, his influence extending into every corner, where rivals think themselves safe. The tools are yours, but only if you dare to wield them with intelligence and restraint. And let us not mistake morality for practicality. Machiavelli did not teach evil, he taught survival. Fear, respect, and cunning are not sins, they are strategies. The world is indifferent to your intentions. It responds only to the results of your actions. The man who understands this thrives. The man who does not is crushed. Every decision you make, every action you take, can either sharpen these tools or dull them. Awareness is the first step, execution is the next, and only mastery brings power. Ask yourself this when you negotiate. Do you command respect or invite disregard? When you lead, do you instill fear or weakness? When you strategize, do you plan several steps ahead or stumble blindly? Machiavelli's wisdom teaches that power is never accidental. It is built, crafted, and maintained with deliberate attention. Fear, respect, and cunning are not optional, they are essential. And so, we return to the eternal truth, whispered across centuries by Machiavelli: the world does not reward the knave, the honest, or the timid. It bows to the bold, the strategic, and the adaptable. Power is not given, it is taken. Survival depends on the ability to bend with change, to master appearances, and to wield fear, respect, and cunning as instruments of influence. Those who understand these laws do not wait for opportunity. They create it. They do not seek approval. They command it. They do not hope for loyalty. They engineer it. The game of power is unforgiving, yet precise. Every choice, every mask, every strategy becomes a move on the chessboard of life. And the wise, the vigilant, and the daring rise, while the unprepared vanish into obscurity. Remember this: Machiavelli did not promise comfort, nor morality, nor ease. He promised clarity, the clarity to see the world as it is, and the tools to thrive within it. And now, armed with his 21 rules, you must decide: will you play the game as it is, or will you remain a pawn, waiting for a mercy that will never come? The stage is yours. The world is watching. The mask you wear, the moves you make, the power you claim, they will define the legacy you leave.